Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. My Tower Hobbies Edge 540. I flew it yesterday for the first time in quite a while, and this plane flies a whole lot faster than my go-to, the Extra 300. So I want to do a Brian Phillips and put FLAPERONs in it, and I figured I'd show you guys how I'm gonna do it. I've never done it before, but that way I can take both ailerons that I can't say, you know, them things on the wings, ailerons, and they can both droop down a little bit and act like flaps, but still have control movement. So that will give it a little more lift, and maybe I can slow it down and land it a little slower and easier. So that's my thought. Right now is just a Y harness plugging into channel 2, splitting out to both wings. So we'll have to do away with the Y harness, plug each aileron into its own channel, and then we'll have to do a little swapping around in the transmitter here, and I'll show you guys how we go about doing it. So sit tight. If you want to win a jet like this, all you have to do is subscribe. Click the like button and leave a comment. And then ring the bell so you don't miss my next video. At 1,000 subscribers, we gave this jet away. At 5,000, we're going to give another one. I don't know what it is yet. We'll see when that time comes. So hey, subscribe guys. Happy flying. Alright, before we physically get the wings out and rearrange the servo plugs and all that, the first thing we need to do is go into the model and change the wing type, and then it will tell us where to plug in each of the ailerons. So model select Edge 540, model type airplane, no, we don't want that, back, aircraft type, flaperon, there we go. That's what we want to do, is change it to flaperon. And then we're going to go down to channel assign, and now it's going to tell us where to plug in each of the ailerons. So running through the receiver port assignment here, throttle's in 1, right aileron is in number 2, number 3 elevator, number 4 rudder, 5 gear, that's the safe select on and off, and then it says for channel 6, auxiliary 1 is where we plug the left aileron in. So I need to remember all that because I might have one of my gain channels for the adjustable gains inside the smart AS3X safe select receiver using auxiliary 1. But we have a 9-channel receiver here, and let's go through our channels that we're using real quick. So obviously we got throttle 1, right aileron 2, elevator 3, rudder 4, the gear 5, so that's for our safe select on and off. Now we got the left aileron in 6, and that leaves 3 more channels, and I have reverse set up. And then we have a gain channel for the safe and a gain channel for the AS3X. So we happen to have enough channels in the DX9 for this plane for what we're doing. So we need to remove the Y harness and right aileron in 2 and the left in 6. All right, let's get the canopy off, and then we'll do away with the Y harness. And we will plug the wings in, and then we can put a battery in it and see what the differences are. So right now I just have this Y harness going in number 2 here. So now that comes out, and I got 2 shorter extensions here. I'll plug one of them into spot number 2. And the other one is going to go into number 6. Oh, look, we got lucky here. These extensions say right flap and left flap. So, aileron, the right one went into spot number 2, and we got lucky. It's labeled R. So, we're good to go right there. I'm not going to get a battery pack for us to power this up, so I'm just going to use a little 4.8 volt battery pack. And for what we're doing now, being that the wing goes right here and covers up the receiver, I'm just going to fish this servo extension down here and put it into channel 5. Then we can have the wing on it, and I can just plug the battery pack into here, and that will power the receiver. All right, so right into 2 and left into channel 6. So right goes into channel 2 and left goes into 6. So this one's my right one, and it is labeled right flap. Right is right. And then the other one in channel 6 goes into the left one. Well, I hope this, hope I'm able to slow it down with having these flaperons. I've never done it before. I've kind of wanted to do it. And when I flew this yesterday, I had to land it so much faster than the extra, and then I thought about our buddy Brian Phillips that talks about flaperons all the time, so we can do that. So before we power up the plane, I'm gonna go back in and look at channel assign and see about my gain channels and stuff, and see if auxiliary 1 was being used. Model select edge 540. We should have checked that when we were there earlier, but it's okay. So 7 is auxiliary 2, 8 is auxiliary 3, 9 is auxiliary 4. So now we can go to the monitor, and I know I have this switch right here for the reverse. It's red. So when I flip it, we should see auxiliary 2 is moving. So that stays the same. And then I had the safe gains on the knob. And then I had the AS3X gains on this slider, or vice versa. I can't remember at the second. So when I turn the knob, nothing is moving. So that means it was using auxiliary 1. Now when I move the slider, we can see that auxiliary 3 is moving. So I need to go back and make my knob operate auxiliary 4. All right, so we need to go back into system setup, and my roller is a little touchy. Edge 540 and channel assign. And we need to put our knob on auxiliary 4. And to change the knob, I'm just going to turn the knob, and now it made auxiliary for the knob. Okay, so let's go back out, and then we'll go to the monitor screen, and I know my reverse does auxiliary 2, and we didn't mess with auxiliary 2, so nothing changed right there. The slider does auxiliary 3, and now the knob controls auxiliary 4. So we'll have to remember that in the forward programming to make sure everything's on the up and up right there. Okay, all right, transmitter on first, and this battery pack is going to take the place of the LiPo. I'm not putting a LiPo in, so we just have that servo extension going into an empty spot in the receiver. So this battery pack will power the receiver and let us do what we need to do. All right, the ESC is going to beep like that. So we need to look at forward programming.
4.2 volts, 0.
So I'm going to go down to forward programming real quick.
Fahrenheit, warning.
And flight mode. No, we're going to need to go to gain channels. All right, so safe was on auxiliary 3, and see how it says the roll pitch and yaw is on the left aileron. So we need to change that to the slider, and I'm just highlighting it, and then I'm moving the slider. And it went to aux 3. Okay, so safe is on the knob and AS3X is on the slider. That's where it was before. So we're golden there. Now we're going to relearn the servo settings because we've rearranged the where the ailerons are plugged into now. So let's take a look at it real quick.
0 amps, 75 Fahrenheit.
So right aileron up, left aileron up, elevator down, rudder left, rudder right. I just turned safe select off. So now we have more control. I'm going to hold max elevator up and then turn safe on, and we saw it go down. So we definitely have our flight modes working. And I just gave it some throttle to activate AS3X and all that. So all we need to do now is get our servo trim and all that stuff done. So we could have done this before we plugged it in, but when I was first building this plane and I was figuring out my maximum travel for the control surfaces, I think I set the ailerons at 85% max travel. And you can see our right aileron is number 2, and it's set at the 85. And then now left aileron is at 100. So we need to change those to 85 as well, so that way they'll both move the same amount. We'll have to go back into forward programming and do relearn servo settings again. Then I need to go down here to the to the trim and zeroed out. And then we need to plug it back up and relearn servo settings in forward programming. And then we should be able to set up what switch we're going to have for the flaperons, and then how far we're going to set them, have them go down. So we're almost there. Hang tight. Okay, I went and got a battery pack so we don't got to listen to the ding, 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 ding. And now that I've been thinking about this, probably could have done things in a different order, but hey, it's my first time and I'm sharing it with you. So we need to go into forward programming again and relearn servo settings, because I changed both of the ailerons to max of 85% travel. Now we have flaperons. We need to create a flap. Learning as we go, right? Flap system. Right now it's inhibited. And the switch that I'm going to choose for flaps is the flap switch. So I flipped it and it automatically chose switch D. We'll clear it back out and I'll show you guys it. So it's still flashing, and I just moved the flap switch and it automatically picked switch D. Select. Cool, now we got a flap menu. So I'm going to have my switch all the way forward is flying, and then it's going to be a mid flap and full flap. So when it's in the top position, I'm going to leave it 0 flap and 0 elevator. And then in the middle setting is where we need to do like a half flap and a landing flap, or learning flap and a learning flap. So let's see what happens when we move. All right, I just selected the the 0 on flap in the mid section, and I'm rolling the wheel. Okay, you got to flip the switch. All right. So I put the switch in the middle setting, and now I'm rolling the wheel. Okay, that's going the wrong direction, so we need to go negative. So I'm rolling it negative, and they're both drooping down. All right, so they're both down quite a bit. Let me clear it out and you can see them both jump up. All right, cool. So I'm just going to take it in this setting, negative 10, and then in the landing setting, I'm going to take it to negative 15. All right, so now I'm in the no flap position. It's all the way up. Mid flap, they both went down a little bit, and then all the way flap, and they went down a little bit more, and we still have full control. So that's flaperons. I've never done it before. Now we have it. So maybe when I'm flying, I can, put it in one of those settings and see what it does. And I'll also have to create a down elevator mix to level it out, and maybe I can slow it down. So I'm excited to show you guys the maiden flight of flaperons. So next time when we do it, guys, it'll go a whole lot faster. But hey, thanks for hanging out with me while I learned how to do it. So I think we need to do one last thing and go to forward programming and relearn servo settings so that the AS3X and all that will work while we're in the flaperons. And I think we need to make sure real fast. Safe select is off. No flaps. And the gyro's working in the direction it should. Mid flap. And the gyros are working the way they should. Full flap. And then safe select. So the gyro and the safe select and all that is working with FLAPERONS now. So pretty cool, guys. Pretty cool. Thanks for bearing with me while I learn this in real time with you guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Hey, now's a good chance for you guys to give me a like and make sure you're subscribed. In the last 2 months, like 300 people have unsubscribed. I don't know if it was by accident or on purpose, but make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment. How about a video idea? A thumbs up goes a long ways, guys. That really helps out the YouTube algorithm, and that's the best way to support what I do. So if you get anything out of what I'm doing, please go the extra mile and do that if you don't mind. So, all right, hey, now we got FLAPERONS. So the next time we fly it, we'll hopefully get to experiment with that and see if we can slow it down a little bit. It won't be for a couple weeks. For those of you that follow me along for a while and kind of keep up with me, I'm going out of town in a few days. My daughter's getting married, so I won't be able to fly for a few weeks and definitely won't be able to do this for a while. So if you wonder where I'm at and you haven't seen me, then now you know why. So, all right, guys, hey, thank you. I appreciate it. And until next time, you'll see me here. Yep, right there.